Hey Emily, have you noticed things are changing?
How do you mean?
If you notice around the world, across North America, and even in our own backyard, there are signs of change. Architects designing environmentally friendly homes and communities, and more companies producing sturdier, multifunctional stuff.
Now that you mention it, I've heard there are more outdoor community spaces and urban farms around us. And more people are sharing, swapping, and buying secondhand.
It's changes like these that can help us all on a global scale by reducing greenhouse gases and creating less waste.
Yeah, you're right. And it also helps us by bringing communities together.
Where I work at York Region, we recognize the population is growing. Without change, the amount of waste we create will also continue to grow. We needed a plan to guide us on how to reduce our overall waste and manage it in the most sustainable, cost-effective way possible. That's how the Smart Living Plan came to be. This plan is more than just building more depots and collecting more waste bins. We knew that wouldn't be a long-term solution.
It's clear we need to change the way we value things, like how we spend our time and money. We really need to question the amount of stuff we buy and throw away. I know when my Nana was young, she saved everything, mended her clothes, grew her own food, and shared with neighbors.
Well, that's exactly what we heard when we talked to York Region residents. Over the past 3 years, while developing the Smart Living Plan, we had many discussions about the past and the future. We spoke with staff at local municipalities, businesses, school boards, and people both young and old about the future of waste, and what we all want. And what we all need to do to make a difference.
I know it's the right thing to do, but it's not always easy. I often catch myself shopping for no reason, just because I can. Sometimes I even make it a social outing for me and my friends.
It's something we all need to focus on. The heart of the Smart Living Plan is really driven by the first 2 R's of reduce and reuse to make a lasting difference to reduce the amount of waste we create. The last 2 R's of recycle and recover are about managing the waste we've created, turning the recyclables back into new products or recovering valuable energy from our garbage.
So the plan includes 4 R's? Now I get it. So that's why SMART is spelled with 4 R in it.
You got it. The first R, the most important and effective R, is reduce. Waste reduction is all about not making the waste in the first place.
I have to admit, it's hard not to waste things. You have sandwich bags and cleaning wipes. You have coffee cups and plastic bags. Everything is so disposable.
This is why it's so important as a consumer to think about the kinds of products we buy.
Sometimes it's not even about what you buy. It's the layers and layers of packaging wrapped around what you buy.
That's exactly it. And at the region, we'll be voicing our concerns to industries and associations about overpackaging and keeping an eye on new packaging trends. But never underestimate the power of the consumer. Businesses want to meet their customers' needs, and if they see consumer behavior affecting product sales, change will happen.
I suppose I can start by choosing things that aren't disposable or have less packaging, and using reusable containers, and not buying them spontaneously at the store unless I really need them.
Through the Smart Living Plan, one of the first things we'll be working on is to reduce food waste. Did you know in Canada, 40% of all food produced is wasted, and over half of that food is wasted in our homes? And about 20% of what we throw out is totally avoidable, like an unused head of lettuce or a tub of cottage cheese that went bad.
I never really thought about it before, but you're right. I do throw out a lot of food that's gone bad, or I just forgot about in the back of my fridge. Come to think of it, my Nana would be horrified at the amount of food I throw out.
Each household in York Region throws out about $1,400 worth of food each year.
Get out. $1,400? Each household? I had no idea.
Just the simple act of preparing a meal plan or shopping list before you go grocery shopping can actually help reduce the amount of food you buy that goes unused, spoiled, and straight into the green bin.
You know, I always shop at the grocery store right after work from a list I have in my head, not realizing I already have most of those things in my fridge.
Reducing food waste not only helps you save money, but it can also help the region save money and resources by reducing the amount of material that gets collected, transported, and processed.
So, John, what else is in the Smart Living Plan?
Well, the second R of reuse is just as important as reducing waste. A lot of us already reuse things, but there's a lot more we can do.
Like what?
Well, for example, stuff like clothing, sheets, and towels make up a large portion of the material going out in the garbage. As part of the plan, York Region will be working with community partners to expand clothing donations and collections, promoting large-scale swap events like mom-to-mom sales, and encouraging people to repair things instead of throwing it away and buying new.
Now that you mention it, I've heard of some people organizing fix-it groups and repair cafes, and bike repair shops that let you come in and use their tools. Plus, they offer do-it-yourself workshops.
Exactly. There are lots of ideas for us to explore with reuse. Repurposing is another form of reuse. For instance, at Canada's Wonderland, they took an old tree from their property that had to be removed and made it into a table they now use in their Starbucks location. The legs of that same table are made from metal ride parts they no longer needed.
That's amazing. You know, I've seen all sorts of websites with some cool ideas for turning things into something new.
Another great idea for reuse is a tool share library where you can sign out a tool just like you would a book.
That's a great idea. Sharing could be such an easy solution to reducing waste. I mean, really, I barely ever use my power drill or sewing machine. It would make so much sense to either share my neighbors or sign one out when I need it. And I wouldn't have to store it in my house and clutter it up. If you ever need to borrow one, feel free to ask anytime.
Well, I'm glad you like these ideas so far. The plan also includes some recycling initiatives. Like I mentioned earlier, packaging is an issue, and it's an ever-evolving industry. It's a real challenge to keep up with the latest packaging trends. You may not realize it, but new packaging can have a major impact on blue box processing. The great thing is, businesses are seeing the benefits of reducing the amount of packaging they create, choosing more sustainable packaging options, and offering in-store recycling programs for special items that can't go into the blue box.
You know, I've noticed bins for recycling plastic bags at some local stores. My neighborhood hardware store also takes back used paints for recycling. I've heard companies can save millions in shipping and material costs by reducing their packaging.
It's incredible. A great example of this was when they shrunk the size of laundry detergent bottles. This simple change saved companies on the cost of water, plastic, cardboard, and fuel.
I hope more businesses see the value in reducing all that wrapping around their products, or at least using recyclable packaging.
Besides working with businesses and industries for better packaging, the region and its partners are committed to making things better for our residents. This includes more planning for waste programs and depots, as well as improved services to apartments and condominiums.
Earlier you mentioned a fourth R. What is that exactly?
Recover. This is where we take the waste that can't be reduced, reused, or recycled and convert it into energy rather than sending it to landfill. The process reduces the volume of waste by 90% and recovers metals for recycling that would have otherwise been lost to landfill. York Region is partnered with Durham Region in the building of Durham York Energy Centre. This energy from waste facility is now under construction and will manage a portion of our garbage.
Is there anything I can do to help with this R?
Absolutely. We only want our garbage to go there, so no recyclables, electronics, or hazardous waste. If you're in doubt, you can check out the Bindicator search tool on our York website to quickly see what goes where. We really don't want any electronics or hazardous materials at this facility, so make sure you drop them off at one of our household hazardous waste depots, or you can search online for retail locations that will take back electronics or hazardous waste. There's also a website that lists the pharmacies in your area that will take back unused medications. And most importantly, share what we've talked about today with your friends, coworkers, family, and neighbors. We need everyone's support to make this plan a success.
Thanks, John. You've given me a lot to think about.
Just curious, is there anything in the plan that stands out for you?
Well, as a working mom of two, it's hard trying to do what's right for my family while also keeping an eye on what I'm buying. I get too easily caught up in the birthday craze, and before you know it, my 4-year-old has enough toys to sink a ship. I'm slowly learning that he's just as happy going to the park. I need to remember that experiences and creating memorable moments mean more and stay with us much longer than material gifts. So for me, the Smart Living plan means we all need to stop and ask ourselves, why am I buying so much stuff? And more importantly, do I really need it?
That's definitely a great place to start, Emily.
Is there any way I can get even more involved?
Sure. There's a few ways. You can share your thoughts, related projects, ideas, and tips by sending us an email to smartliving@york.ca, and that's smart spelled SM4RT, or post your ideas on social media using hashtag SM4RT. Or you can even complete a short survey to receive updates on the rollout of the Smart Living Plan.
Sounds great, John. Well, I better run. I was on my way to the grocery store, but I think I better go back in and make a list first.
Okay, Emily. Take care.